Rather than putting ourselves down or putting down your teacher, let's continue here. So f double prime of x. Bailey, I'm going to check on you this time. What's f double prime of x? Come on, please. I thought you did it.
Yeah, I did do it.
Go ahead.
So it would be like dx, x dx.
Yeah.
Whatever times x squared.
Yeah.
Minus. We have like 2x.
Yeah.
Dx.
Good. Okay. Is there anything that's common we can factor out here? Because this is what we want to simplify down. Austin. X dx goes out of both of them. I'm left with x squared minus 2 x minus 1. All right. Is there anything else I can do this time? Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Distribute the -2 into the x minus 1.
Good. What else, though?
Oh, like cancel out the x
Yeah,
and the x on the bottom.
So e to the x times x squared minus 2x plus 2. Okay, now here's the tricky part. Quad form of b squared minus 4ac. Does that work out? Is that a square root? Is that quad formula?
No, it quad forms, but it doesn't factor.
No? I don't think it is. So guys, so there's no roots here then? So this is going to be 0 is equal to... So altogether there's no roots here? Yeah. Right, that's like the thing that's inside of your quadratic formula.
The discriminant, right?
Discriminant, yeah. But that's the little thing that's inside the quadratic formula, right? Inside the square root of the quadratic formula. Okay, so let's graph this then. The only point that we had, so our only point that we had was 1 comma e, right? Was that the only point? Yeah. And we had x cannot equal 0, right? Okay, so here we go. We're going to have x is less than 0. 0 is less than x is less than 1, and x is greater than 1. There's going to be f prime of x, f double prime of x, and shape. Okay, I'm going to rely very heavily on you guys to finish this chart for me, please. Okay, when x is less than 0, because I can't do this in my head, let's start with f double prime. Let's choose -1. E to the -1 is a decimal, times -1 squared is 1 minus 2 plus 2 becomes a positive, all over a negative. This should be a negative. Can somebody confirm that for me? That is negative? Okay, when x is 0.5. 0.5, e to the 0.5 is still a decimal. Okay, that's a positive decimal though. 0.5 squared minus 2 times 0.5 minus 1 plus 2. That's going to be, what's the f double prime of x then? Could somebody do f double prime of x for this one? It should be negative, I think, but can somebody just confirm that for me? Maybe not though. Did I mess something up here? Could somebody just copy 0.5, please? Thank you. Positive 0.5.
I think it's positive.
Yeah.
So here's my problem though. If there's no points of inflection, I guess there'll still be no points of inflection on either side though. So this one should be positive too then, hopefully. Let's find out.
It makes more sense that way with the graph.
E positive, positive, that would be that. Okay. So let's say e to the 5 is going to be a big number, positive. 5 squared is 25 minus something, plus something is positive or positive is plus. Even, I guess the asymptote would technically be the point of inflection if you look, like, not a point of inflection, but that's where it changed from positive to negative. Okay. Let's go back to our original function, which was f prime x, which is this one. Okay, the first one was negative. E to the negative is still a positive, divided by a positive times a negative, divided by a positive is still going to be a negative. I make e equal to 0.5, positive, negative, divided by positive is a negative. And let's say it's 5, positive, positive, positive is positive. Okay, does that make sense to anybody else that's sitting down and silently making me struggle up here? Good. Thank you for silently making me struggle. Okay. A negative graph that's getting more negative looks like what? The negative graph getting more positive looks like this. Oops, say again. A negative graph getting more positive looks like this, and then a positive graph looking more positive looks like this. To graph this, then I'm going to do this very quickly here. And it probably wouldn't hurt if you're graphing this to do sort of a -1 or something like that. You know, to pick a point on the negatives to see. So let's just say we choose -1 on my original graph. What was it? E to the x over x it was? Yeah. Because everything's negative, the whole graph's going to be underneath here. So I'm assuming the graph's going to look like this. So we probably should have checked a horizontal asymptote there. All right, because the entire thing's going to be negative when, you know what I mean, when you have a negative, negative and then drawn or e to the x over x. Let's go to decimals just to make sure my graph is correct, which I'm 99% sure it is. Okay, were there any questions on this before I go to decimals.com? Are there any questions on the idea of this? So what you have to do is you'd have to think, here's the thing, when you go to positive, you just do the infinity thing, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, well, I'll show you in a second. Let me just do this graph and I'll show you in a second. So basically what's going to happen, e to the x over x, the problem is e to the x is heading towards 0, right, as you get to negative infinity. All right, and e to the, and x is going to the infinity, so it'll be like 0 over infinity, which would be heading towards 0. Okay, as you go positive though, e to the positive infinity is going to be infinity, right, divided by infinity, so it's going to give you undefined, right, or 1, I guess, technically, I guess it's going to be undefined, I guess. So there's no real asymptote on the right-hand side. Yeah, and that's exactly what we have there. That's not pretty? Well, it looks, look, it's the very same as mine. It looks
beautiful on the inside.
All right, I'm going to hit pause in the video and then let us get ready to struggle through today's lesson. Sorry, how long this one